welcome to our first pop-up exhibition. This is the Exeter Science Centre pop-up exhibition all around climate modelling, so understanding the climate on Earth and on other planets. So welcome to Earth. We start with Earth and we think about what makes Earth special. So yeah, come around on our tour. People have been writing down what they think makes Earth special and then sticking it to our big planet here. We've had some wonderful suggestions. As you go around the exhibition, you can engage with 4 different plant pit stops, and they are places where you can make a pot, fill it with soil, plant a seed, and then learn about how to look after that seed and some experiments you can do. And it's all about how those tiny little acts, like just planting a seed, can actually, if we all do it, make a massive difference. And then you come in here. This is the climate feelings booth. So in here, we're asking people to just say how they really feel about climate change, and we're hoping they'll be really honest. And when they've told the computer in there, they then get to watch a video of a scientist talking about how they feel about climate change. So there's lots of places that you can engage with the exhibition through craft and through doing things. And so we've got this table here, and every day we ask you different questions. Today it's what makes Earth special? And people can doodle all over the table, and we've had all kinds of wild things being doodled. A lot of cats featuring in this exhibition, and lots of animals. And over there you can colour in a poster all about travelling to another planet, or you can write a postcard to your friends back on your alien planet after you've visited Earth. So imagining you're an alien. And over here we start our Exoplanet Tour. Here's James.
Hi, in the VR station you're going to have a first-hand tour of all the wonderful exoplanets that we might encounter in our universe, from the watery world of Kepler 62e to the lava planet of Canterbury 55e. I bet you're going to have a wonderful time in one of these.
Hiya! Have you ever wondered how we find exoplanets, planets that are beyond our solar system? Well, with light we can do lots of clever things. And for example, this planet over here, this little white thing, is going around its star. And it goes around the star because of gravity, right? But look at what the star is doing. The star is also going around. It's wobbling around. And we can measure that wobble by looking at the light of the star, which changes colour. Look, I'm going to convince you of that. So we're going to do that wobbling with sound. Did you hear that? The sound is going low, high, low, high, low, high. It's oscillating like a siren. And basically, the star, as the planet is going around it, the star's light is also oscillating. It's going low, high, low, high. It's changing colour. It's going blue, red, and we have spectrographs. We have instruments that allow us to basically measure those shifts in light.
So once we've detected an exoplanet, we want to learn about what its atmosphere is like and possibly what its climate might be like. So if you come over here, this is an example of something called transmission spectroscopy. So we have a distant star, a planet orbits in front of the star and blocks out some of the light. And if it has an atmosphere, some of the light passes through the atmosphere on its way to us, and then we can learn what the atmosphere is made of. We can detect things like water, methane, and other atmospheric components. Once we've done that, we then turn to modelling to try and understand the climate of the planet. This is a kind of simulator of a few planets that we've tried to understand at Exeter. So we can pull up, for example, Proxima Centauri b, This is a planet orbiting the nearest star to Earth. And if we click on the surface temperature and winds, these are the outputs from a simulation using the same tools that we model Earth's climate and weather with. And it shows you the wind structures and the temperature structures that might be in the atmosphere and surface of this planet. Ideally, we'll use these techniques eventually to determine whether life can exist and indeed does exist on any of these planets.
Look at that. So this is a bowl full of water, and if I spin it, just like a planet spins around itself. Wow. Doesn't it look like Jupiter? So here we've got images of various kinds of planets, and we've got Earth in every one of these sets of images. But here, are we looking at Earth or are we looking at Mars? What do you think? Actually, on this one there's a road, so we're definitely on Earth. But how about this one? I would say this is Titan, and that's Earth. Am I right? No, that's actually Titan, and this is Earth. And over here, that's another tricky one. Mars or Earth? What do you think? This is Mars, and that's Earth. That's incredible. They look so similar. I'm going to plant my own tree now. So I made my little pot and I put some soil in, and where are the seeds? Oh, the seeds are over there. Take 2 seeds. All right. I've put 2 sunflower seeds.
So over here we've got a little chill out zone, and we've been showing on a loop some images that have been submitted by the public onto our website, and they're images that are a response to different questions like your vision of a positive future and why do you think Earth's special, and resolutions for change and things like that. So yeah, people can sit here and chill out, read a paper, and look at those wonderful images just as we move into the Earth climate section.
Hi, and welcome to the Earth Climate section. Here we have a really beautiful image of the jet stream, which is a really defining feature of our atmosphere, and it meanders around all across the atmosphere. So this is the North Pole up here, and this is us in Exeter down here. And even though we understand why we have a jet stream, it's quite hard to predict. With lots of things, actually, with climate science, they're very hard to predict. And we have this idea of chaos. And we've got this little experiment behind me here, which is called chaotic pendulums. And the idea is that these pendulums are exactly the same as each other, but because it's a chaotic system, very small changes in the way that we spin the pendulums or in the pendulums themselves will actually create a very massive difference later on. So I'm going to try and demonstrate this for you. So I'll sort of spin them at the same time. And actually, if you watch, they're behaving very differently to each other. And this is because of this idea of chaos. And we see this in the climate and modelling the climate, and even in climate observations. So when we travel back in time, we see that this wasn't a completely clear picture. There's a lot of variability in the climate, and there's a lot of work going on as to how to sort of pick out the signal, from the noise. But what we can see is that as we sort of move from back in time across, into the future, we certainly are getting a lot warmer, and our planet is getting a lot warmer. But it's not to fear, because there's lots of things we can do about it, as you will discover in the next section.
Hi, so I think it's pretty easy to feel overwhelmed with the very rapidly changing state of our planet, but there are lots of things that we can do to help fight climate change, and they can be small actions, they can be quite big actions, such as, no longer using a car, no longer eating meat, not using any planes anymore, and even taking action in your community to cause change. And if you're in Devon or Exeter, there's loads of things that you can get involved with and changes that you can make in your life, and every little thing adds up. And if you wanted to let us know what your favourite bit of the exhibition was, then you can write it right here.
And once you've finished calculating your own carbon footprint, you can add a leaf onto our trio group. This is where people have been telling us their wonderful ideas for Exeter Science Centre, what they would like to see from us.
Do you remember that I said that every little action adds up to fight climate change? Well, this is a metaphor for that. So if every person makes a small change to their life, then eventually we will tip the scales. Woo! We beat climate change.
And here is where you can write down your own personal pledge to help tackle climate change and add it to the law.